Okay, so we don't have the insert of my video footage, so this is just going to be audio, just sound, so that's fine. So we just listened to the last conversation or audio of someone. Yeah, there were two people speaking, and one guy can't speak English, the other girl can speak a little, I think. And let me just give you the answers again to that one. Oh yeah, so she learns Spanish by studying, and she can speak Spanish a little. So down at the bottom there, number 3, you've got to try to guess what the questions are. So it could be anything. They have their own suggestion, but what do you think? Can you, whatever, you might be asking this question to a friend or someone that you're getting to know well. Can you, and what is something? So I'm going to give you the answers here, and what I'd like you to do is, or the questions, and then I'd like you to answer on your own. How would you answer those questions? Write a beautiful sentence to demonstrate this. There they are. Can you play a musical instrument? Can you sing well? What is something you can do very well? What is something you would like to do? So answer those questions. Try to make complete sentences, complete thoughts. Okay, we're going to move on to the next page. Here's the dialogue, and a man and a woman. Okay, I tell you what, I will be the man, and you can be the woman, and I'll pause and give you an opportunity to respond. So, let's see, he needs help with his homework. Who doesn't need help with their homework sometimes? So, I can't do this. I can't do anything. Yeah, sure. No, I couldn't do that then. You're right. Well, will you help me with this? Okay. Now, you're going to be the guy that's having trouble with his homework, and I'll be the friend. So, ready, set, go. Sure you can. Can you speak a foreign language? Well, could you 10 years ago? You're learning new things every day. Sorry, I don't understand that stuff either. Okay, that's kind of funny. There's always something kind of funny about these little dialogues on the 3rd page of each of these units. So go ahead and do it again and again, and substitute in these words in red and these words in blue. Try to find somebody to practice with. Okay, now we're going to jump over to page 81. We're skipping to 81. Now this is grammar model. It's the can and it's the could questions. Can you play the guitar or play guitar? Yes, I can. I can play the guitar. Could you play the guitar 5 years ago? Yes, I could. I could play the guitar then. Can you speak Spanish? Can Asako speak Spanish? No, she can't. She can't speak Spanish. Could she speak Spanish 5 years ago? No, she couldn't. She couldn't speak Spanish then. All right, so there's number 2, grammar check. Can you? Could you? To complete the sentences, use can, can't, or could, couldn't. See the chart below. Okay, so there's numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And that's worth 8 points. Number 3, complete the sentences. This one is worth 7 points. So why don't you see if you can actually do this on your own and this is number 2 now, for each problem that you get right, you get a point, starting with number 2. With number 3, for each problem that you get right, you get a point. So there are 7 possible. So go ahead and do this on your own. You can see it, you can pause it, and I'm going to give you the answers and you can check your work. So here are the answers to number 2. Okay, so you can go ahead and check your work, and here are the answers to number 3. Okay, so why don't you give yourself a score? This will really help you to know where you are with this this grammar. Okay, so if you struggled with this, if you had a problem, some problems, study again. Go back and listen more and check the grammar model at the top. Find out where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are with this particular grammar structure, okay? All right, let's move on then. That was quick. Let's move on then to page 83. So this is there any listening here? Yes, there is. Okay, so have a look at the story. This is Anna's story, and this is a really good example of a personal, kind of like a personal profile, or a story about what's going on in your life now. And obviously, because of the pictures, you can see she's talking about herself and what's going on now with herself and her grandparents. They look like a nice couple. Okay, so the real story, the story's name or title is Visiting Grandparents. So what you're going to do here is you're going to read through this on your own first, and then once you have done that, then I will play the audio and you can check your work. So go ahead and read it. You can pause this and just read. See how well you do. And now I'm going to play the audio. And you can check how well you did.
Unit 9. Real Stories. Visiting Grandparents.
My name is Anna. I live on my own now, but I like to go back to visit my grandparents once or twice a year. When I arrive at my grandparents' house, they are always happy to see me. The house is small, but I'm very comfortable there. My grandmother and grandfather can cook really well. They like to cook things for me. My grandfather collects vegetables and then deep fries them. It is one of my favorite foods. Sometimes when I go to visit, I notice both my grandmother and grandfather are getting older. Some of the things they could do before, they can't do anymore. For example, my grandfather could run faster than me. But these days, we don't race. This makes me sad. But now that he has retired, we can enjoy talking and can go for long walks together. I guess this is just how life moves on.
Exactly. So why do you think she no longer runs with her grandfather? Now this is a separate question. This question is not from number 2. It's a question that I thought I'd bring up to you. Maybe you can answer that question. Okay, so now I'm going to give you the answers to number 1. There they are. check your work. You can listen again if you wish. Okay, so now let's have a look at number 2. Think about the story. So it's important that you do this part 2 because later on you might be tested. Also, it's just good to practice and see how well you can go over a story and answer questions about that story. So number 1, what is one of Anna's favorite foods? Try to make a complete sentence here. Number 2, what 2 things can Anna enjoy with her grandfather now? Once again, try to write out a complete sentence. And number 3, there is a common saying, life is a circle. What does this mean according to the story? Do you agree? Why or why not? Life is a circle. Okay, let me click this check and see what they have to say. Okay, number 1, deep fried vegetables. So, or one of Anna's favorite foods is deep fried vegetables. Number 2, what 2 things can Anna enjoy with her grandfather now? Talking and going for long walks. That's the short version. She can enjoy talking and going for long walks. And then number 3, any supported answer is acceptable. Now here's some examples of the answer to number 3. To me, this means that life is always beginning and ending. I agree because I have seen 4 generations of people in my family. So there are different ways to answer that. Isn't that interesting? So now, number 3, your story. What are some things you can do that you couldn't do before? Now, this is a good opportunity for you to just think about that. And you can write down your ideas. You can think about them silently, by yourself, in your head, or you can, with a friend, ask these questions and see whether you can start up an interesting conversation with somebody. Okay, now we're going to move on. Here are the pages that are on the virtual book but not in your book, or the problems if you want. And so we'll be able to do maybe the first couple before this part ends. So once again, it's just like the other units. Fill in the missing letters. Can you do that? Number 2, match the actions with the descriptions. So, well, let me give you the answers up here. So, you have number 1, sing beautifully. So, what description is that? Let's take a look. Good musician, solves problems well, talented artist, good memory, smart navigator, good voice, fast swimmer, good computer skills. Sings beautifully, she has a good voice. Kind of the same idea, really. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click or push the check, and you can check your answers. Okay, so, like swim fast, there's another way of saying that, and that is fast swimmer. She swims fast, he swims fast, she is a fast swimmer, he is a fast swimmer. So you're really saying the same thing, just in a different way. Okay, so I'm going to end this second video, part 2, and we'll be doing part 3 in a minute.